Hello guys, welcome back to the Championship Prediction League with myself and Oli Mann today. Gab Sutton will be sending his scores over later, but more good news from me, I think, Oli, in terms of the Prediction League over the weekend. Could you give us a score update?
Yeah, I'm going to blame obviously the abandonments for the reason that this is. I don't think any of us. I understand why you're smiling, but I don't think any of us come out of this week looking particularly good. I scored 2 points. Unfortunately, losing my lead at the top of the league. Simon, you scored 5, which puts you up into first place. Gab got 4 points this week, so the season scores look like Simon with 29. Oli with 27 and Gab languishing on 25, but it's tightened right up. That 11-point lead I had just 2 game weeks ago is laughing at me in the rearview mirror. Yeah, it's not been a great one, but time to bounce back. I've got a good feeling about this midweek.
And it is a packed midweek full of fixtures, which is why we're recording now. Coming to you live from Bratislava, by the way, hence why I've not got my usual setup. So there's a bit of spice for you. And we should start with the team that didn't do very well this weekend. My team, Coventry City, travelling to Preston North End, Oli, where Coventry have never, ever, ever won a league game. Deepdale is cursed for the Sky Blues. Over 100 years of playing there, we've never won. I've seen us there about 10 times. I'm not going to be there this weekend. This Tuesday night, but maybe we'll get the win. I don't know. What do you think of this one? Are Cov shaking? Are they rattled?
I mean, everybody. There is no team in the Championship that can say losing at Ipswich is a shock. It's probably the hardest game any team is going to play, other than potentially, going to yourselves. And so, you don't want to overreact to it. You don't want to look at that performance and say, yes, you know what? On the day, they were outclassed by a better team. But that can happen. You're playing against a team who are in the Premier League, who've been on a fantastic run, who were the favourites for the division for a reason. So you don't want to overreact. However, it's a sticky run, this. Preston at home, they're a difficult opposition for anybody. They are a team who are capable of grinding it down, making it difficult, making it awkward. And so I think this is a tricky one to predict. I think it's a really difficult away game. I'm going to say 1-1 in this one. I don't think Cov bounce back immediately, but if I'm also being honest, I don't think 1-1 away at Preston's a bad result.
It's not, is it? I'm going to have a bit more confidence than you, though. It'll be a horrible game, I think. Absolutely horrible, but I'm going to go for a 1-0 away win. We weren't bad at Ipswich for the first half, just didn't quite take our chances, and George Hurst probably should have been sent off and wasn't sent off, and then, of course, he goes on to score. So I'm going for a 1-0 away win there. Oh, if we can get 3 points, it'll be absolutely massive. Swansea versus Portsmouth is up next. Swansea beating Oxford at home, finally getting their first win under the new manager. Portsmouth, of course, having that game abandoned at Charlton. Oh, another tough one, this, Oli.
Yeah, absolutely. And first of all, obviously, just thoughts go out to everybody involved in what happened on Saturday at the Portsmouth-Charlton game. Obviously, it's really tragic circumstances for something like that to happen, and it is horrible for them to obviously be looking at going again, even if you're just a part of that. So, yeah, thoughts go out to all the Portsmouth fans who had travelled, who will obviously be looking at making this trip on Tuesday night. It's a difficult one. Swansea got a fantastic result at the weekend. They look as though potentially, having got that monkey off the back, got that first win to break the losing run. It's a good start for Vita Matos. They raced into the 2-0 lead against West Brom, couldn't hold on to it, race into a 2-0 lead, but do hold on to it against Oxford. And I think that's massive. I do feel as though potentially that could be the sign they're turning a corner. And it's not an unfriendly fixture, this. It's a difficult one for Portsmouth, who themselves have been in pretty poor form. I'm going to back Swansea to keep going, and I'm going to go for a 2-1 home victory in this one.
I thought you were going to copy me. I've gone 2-0 Swansea. I think Portsmouth are lacking a goal threat right now. I think they're not scoring a lot of goals. They're not creating a lot of chances, and they're kind of struggling for points on the road as well. So I'm going to go for a 2-0 Swansea win in that one. Next up, Blackburn versus Oxford. We just talked a little bit about Oxford losing that game. Blackburn, I don't know. It feels like a relegation battle, 6-pointer. I think I might back a draw. I'm going to go for a 1-1 in this one, give them my score prediction nice and early. I think Blackburn, should we see what happens to their pitch and how much rain it gets over the next 2 games? Can I back an abandonment and get bonus points?
I was going to say, how many points do we get for a match abandoned? Can I have Blackburn will be winning 1-0 and it'll get called off at some point in the second half? If I can have that, I'll get loads of points.
I think that's 10 points for that one, isn't it? Yeah, I'm going to go 1-1. I think Oxford do need to get a point here and avoid defeat. And if Blackburn can finish a game of football, I think they should pick up a point. What do you reckon, Oli?
Yeah, I agree. Blackburn obviously have got a horrendous home record, albeit that you could probably add 6 points onto it and say they can feel a little bit hard done to that they've not got those. But you've got to be, we're talking about Championship football, and the fact that you can't get a pitch playable is
even
really
Accrington finished, right? Accrington finished their game.
So, yeah, it is really questionable that you can't get these games finished. You know, they, as fans, should be really looking at what's going on there to see why the club are letting them down so much in terms of that. I think they will be frustrated again on Tuesday night. I think if they get the game finished, I'm agreeing with you, Si. I think it'll be 1-1. Oxford, under Gary Rowett, very rarely are going to put in 2 shockers. They're not very rarely going to go and hit a massive losing run. He will just make sure they do the basics right. And that's why I think they'll get a positive result. Yeah, I think 1-1's fair.
And a team who have announced a new manager, Tonderecker at Southampton, at home to West Brom on Tuesday night. Another massive home win for them, beating Birmingham. West Brom losing at QPR, and we're kind of feeling a bit negative about Ryan Mason as well. All points to a home win, and quite a convincing one for me. Southampton coming like a steam train right now up the Championship table. Should I go for the bonus points? Of course, it is 5 points. For if you get a correct score with 5 goals or more, 3 points for a correct score and 1 point for a match result, just to let you know how the point system works in this league. I think I might go for it. I'm going to go Southampton 4, West Brom 1 and play for the bonus points.
I like it. I do like it. I think absolutely this is probably the easiest pick of the week for me in terms of looking at these fixtures. A home win is almost nailed on. I would say Southampton are the form team in the division, but they're not. And so I think you've got to really look at them, getting behind them, backing them to pick up the result here. I'm not going as big as you, but I think it'll be a 3-0 home win for Southampton. Yeah, really want to be getting against West Brom at the moment, because despite that impressive turnaround against Swansea, not quite able to sustain it. And I don't think Ryan Mason's got too much time left there to turn this one around.
And Gab has also gone for Southampton 3, West Brom 0 as his score predictions come through. So you're in sync there. He's also backed Preston 1, Coventry 1. And who else have we talked about? Blackburn 0-0 he's gone for as well. So we'll keep track of his scores as well on this prediction league. Charlton versus Middlesbrough. Are you feeling pretty happy about Middlesbrough after the Friday night, Ollie? I think they're looking quite good for promotion.
Yeah, all of a sudden, I've been writing them off for a while. I think I've been sitting here and I've done a lot of talk about it's Coventry and Ipswich, and I keep almost saying, yeah, Borough's steam's run out. They're not going to get another result. They're not going to keep going like this. And they're starting to prove the doubters wrong a little bit. There's a real consistency to the way they're playing, to the outcomes and the results that they're obviously being able to push for. I am backing them again here. Charlton obviously have been in terrible form. Part of that, obviously, really sad abandonment on Saturday afternoon with Portsmouth. And again, you know, it's going to be really difficult for them to get up and go again after being involved in such a horrible situation. And so, yeah, I'm going to back an away win. I think Middlesbrough are just a better team. They feel as though they're finding their rhythm. And so, yeah, 2-0 Borough for me.
That's what Gab's put as well. He's put 2-0 Borough as well. I'm going to go Charlton a goal, by the way.
What's he doing?
I know. He's copying you. You're copying him. Anyway, either way, you're not going to catch me. I'm going for a 2-1 Borough win. I'll give Charlton a goal. Next up, it's a team in red and white who are winning a lot at the moment, Ollie, at home to Norwich.
Yeah, it's not a bad side, are they? You know, I made a bit of a joke there before about the form team in the division, but 4 wins in a row, no defeat in 5, only conceded 2 goals in the last 5. I think if you went back through the XG, we'll have conceded less than 2 because we're just not giving up any chances at all at the moment. Looking like a real team. Did our sort of player ratings.
Chris Wilder? What's happened?
Chris Wilder doing Chris Wilder things, I think, is the only way you can look at this. I think really the important part of this entire conversation is the fitness of Jairo Riedewald in central midfield. I think last season, so much of our success was built around the confidence of Sidney Peck and him having a really strong physical midfielder stood next to him. Vinny Souza was dominant, arguably the best midfielder in the division. And we missed that for so much of this season. Peck was being asked to do too much. He'd obviously lost his confidence, and there was nobody beside him just teaching him to slow the game down, take a moment, be calm, be steady. And that quiet leadership has been huge. The other big thing we've done, I said there we've not conceded chances. Guess what? When you play Jaffet Tanganga at centre-half, he's actually not bad. He might not be a right-back, but as a centre-back, there aren't that many better than him in this division. And suddenly we're looking like a serious football team. I was looking at the stats earlier. Last season, 92 points, won more games than I think we've ever won before in the Championship. We never scored 4 goals. We only scored 3 goals once. Wow. We have scored 3 goals, 4 games running. Obviously, it was 4 in the end on Saturday. Yeah, we are suddenly really looking good. And we do start to get excited. You start to say 8 points from 6th. Why not?
There by the end of the month.
In time, why not? I think we'll keep this run going. I'm going to back us for 5 in a row. I think Norwich do look a much better team since the change of manager. Obviously, their performances have improved. They've started looking a little bit better, albeit we discussed this last week. There's fitness concerns about them as they get late on in games. They're trying to play a new high press style that they just don't have the energy for right now. I'm going to say that they've run themselves out against Watford at the weekend. 2-0 to United.
I'm going 3-0 to Sheffield United. I'm big on Sheff United. I'm big on Chris Wilder. I think they'll come good and keep going over this Christmas period. I think top 6 challenge by January is well on, right? There's no reason why it can't be.
I mean, I joked at the weekend. I think I texted you, Si, and I said, you're welcome for us giving you such a head start, but we're on the march now. And, that's why I'm backing Cov 1-1. You drop another 2 points and we're getting there. We're clawing it back.
Second half of the season, you're doing a title charge. Gab's gone for 2-1 Sheff United, by the way. So we're all predicting a Sheffield United win, which has been a bit of a curse when we've backed the same team to win on the same occasion. Watford,
I changed mine because if we're all going that way, it's going to all fall apart.
Too late. It's locked in. Watford Sheffield Wednesday should be fairly routine for the Hornets, I would think. We know what we've said about Sheffield Wednesday so far. Is it time they got a big win? A really big win? I don't know. I'm gonna go for another 3-0. I'm gonna play it relatively safe and go for a 3-0, Oli.
Yeah, it's a really difficult one, I think, trying to predict Wednesday games because you never know quite what's turning up. They do seem better away from home in terms of they're able to maybe create chances a little bit easier. They do seem to struggle a little bit with the pressure of being at Hillsborough right now. I do think they will lose. I think they'll lose relatively badly. I'm going to back a 3-1 Watford win.
And Gab has gone 5-0, playing for the bonus point there in terms of a Watford win. Next up, QPR, Birmingham. Birmingham beaten and beaten quite well at Southampton, although Kyogo did miss that chance from 8 yards out, didn't he, where he really should have scored. QPR, decent win over West Brom. I'll let you take the reins on this one because I'm not too sure. Give me a bit of thinking time.
Yeah, it's a really tricky one. Obviously, I've been really disappointed with Kyogo, actually. I think that's a really interesting starting point for reflecting on Birmingham's season because there's so many positives and so much excitement there. They are a team who you're expecting to be in and around the playoffs, potentially in the playoffs. It was a disappointing result against Southampton, but, same as I said about Ipswich, going away to Southampton isn't easy for anybody. That is a horrible game of football to play. They have got a ridiculous squad for championship level. And so you don't judge a team based on their performances at St Mary's. But Kyogo came in with so much hype. It's 18 months since he was rumoured to be going to Man City off the back of just scoring tons of goals in Scotland. And it really felt as though him coming was a massive coup that was going to be the elevator. He was going to take them from potential challenging for the top 6 to, well, who knows just how high. And it's been really disappointing that he's not been able to get going yet. He's really not started his Birmingham career. Gab flagged to us last week that Birmingham's away record isn't very good this season. The St Andrews form is what is carrying their sort of playoff charge at the minute. With that in mind, and with QPR's bounce back and great performance and victory at the weekend, I'm going to back a 2-2 here. A really exciting game, but a draw that QPR will probably be happier with than Birmingham.
Absolutely. Gab has backed Birmingham to win this one 2-1 though, but you are right to mention that away form, which has been absolutely shocking. And also, QPR have now won 3 of their last 4, and they're only, how many points off the playoffs? 2 points off the playoffs. Certainly not a gap that's too big for them to bridge. Having said that, I'm going to sit on the fence and go for a 1-1 here. I think Birmingham needs to just start picking up points on the road, even if it's draws, and keep winning their home games to get into the top 6. So I'll play it very safe and very boring and go for a 1-1. Ipswich versus Stoke. Ipswich, obviously a massive win over Coventry. This is Wednesday night games now, by the way. Stoke City nearly falling out of the playoffs as well with a recent run of poor form. I think it just makes sense to back Ipswich to back this up with another big home win. I can't do another 3-0, so I'm going to go for a 4-1 Ipswich win. You know, what about you, Oli?
Si, what are you doing to me? What are you doing to me? I finally decide this is the one. I'm going big. I want the bonus points. I've got 4-1 home win to Ipswich as well.
Go even bigger. Go on.
Yeah, I know I might have to. 8-1. No, very much an interesting one. This Stoke, I was so disappointed with. Again, you know, as much credit as I give to United, as good as we have been, because we were really impressive in terms of our performance in this game, Stoke offered very, very little, almost nothing. I think if Sorba Thomas doesn't do something special, then I don't see how they're going to create or do anything. That seemed to be the plan. Give Sorba Thomas the ball with some space and hope that he can do something. And against the better teams, you've got to have more than that. Defensively, they just looked ragged. I felt as though at every opportunity we could get through them. I thought they had sort of a walking red card at centre-half with Bosun Lawal. He got away with it 2 or 3 times, but every time the ball went forward, the striker got round him and he just pulled them down with no interest in playing the ball. And you're not going to get away with that every week. Not every referee is going to be as lenient as the one we had at the weekend. And so, yeah, I think this will be a big home win. I am still backing 4-1 to Ipswich. And I suppose I'll just have to share my bonus points.
We'll take that. What's Gab put for that one, by the way? He's put 2-0 Ipswich, so another home win. This game, I think, might be the hardest to call on Wednesday night. Derby versus Millwall. Derby, probably the shock result of the weekend was them getting taken to the cleaners by Leicester at home. Millwall, another win, keeping the pressure on the top 2. They look like promotion candidates as well. I'm going to back, and I don't think this is going to happen, so I don't know why I'm saying it, a very John Eustace 0-0 at Pride Park, because I haven't backed a 0-0 yet for this midweek round of fixtures. And I just think Alex Neil would probably take a point from this game right now, and so would John Eustace. So I'm going for a very dull 0-0 at Pride Park. What about you, Oli? Any more excitement than I'm going for?
Yeah, definitely a bit more excitement. And that's mainly because, you know, I've been writing Millwall off for a few weeks with their injury problems. I keep saying so many injury problems. How is this squad going to keep going? How are they going to bounce back? I feel as though at some point they'll run out of steam. And yet they prove me wrong week after week. And that's the resilience that Alex Neil has brought to this team. And eventually you have to look at the league table. If you go back, I think it's 13 months since Alex Neil came into the club. They are the second best team in the Championship of the teams that have played in the division. It's Coventry, then it's Millwall. Their away form is, again, second best in the Championship of the teams who've played in it that time. It's Coventry, then it's Millwall. They are having an unbelievable run. They've had a fantastic 12 months, and I'm going to back that to continue. I think they'll keep getting points. I think Derby have hit a bit of a wall, lost 3 of their last 4 games since that winning run came to an end with the implosion against Watford. And so I think an away win 2-1 to Millwall.
Very interesting. Gab's gone for 2-1 to Derby, interestingly, in that one, going for the home win. Bristol City, Leicester, every game in the Championship, I think, is so hard to predict, and that's probably shown with the scores we're getting every week, Ollie. I'm looking at this just like, I don't know what this is going to end. Leicester, confidence boosting win, obviously, at the weekend. Bristol City lost at home, narrowly to Millwall. Do I trust Leicester enough to back them to win 2 games in a row this season? I don't think I do, but I'm going to let you give your score prediction first.
Yeah, really tricky one to call this. And, you know, you say there about it being impossible to predict the Championship. I actually was looking at some of the betting odds over the weekend when I was trying to put an accumulator on with a couple of my friends. There was only one team in the entire of the Championship that were odds on this weekend. Everybody else was odds against. Nobody knows who is going to win. The only team that ever seemed to have odds on in their games is whoever's playing against Sheffield Wednesday. Everybody else is so level that even the bookmakers can't pick who they think the favourites are going to be. This one's tricky for me. I really like the changes Leicester made, and they did it at half-time against United. And it was dropping out Harry Winks and putting in Ollie Skip. That seems to make such a difference to their team at the moment. They seem a much more rounded, strong through the centre of midfield. And I know that sounds shocking when you think about Harry Winks, his career, where he's come from, but they just look a better team with Ollie skipping their partner in Jordan James at the moment. Jordan Ayew gives so much difference in terms of what he's offering at the top of the pitch as well. He's just being much more effective in terms of being able to lead the line and take them forward. So I do think there's a question mark about how confident you are with Leicester, but I think they've put together a really good 130 minutes over the last couple of games. And so I am going to back them here. I do think they've got the quality in the squad. It's been a while since Fatawa's done anything ridiculous. So I'm going to back a 1-0 away win. Leicester are going to back it up.
Gab's gone for a 1-0 home win, and I'm going to split the difference and go for a 1-1 draw because I can't make my mind up, and I just can't trust Leicester to make it 2 wins in a row. And we round off the midweek fixtures with Hull City versus Wrexham. Hull getting hammered at home by Borough at the weekend. Wrexham keeping their unbeaten record going with a 1-1 draw. And I've been a big fan of Wrexham at the minute, and they obviously got a good away point at Deepdale. I think they're going to keep the unbeaten run going, but I can't back them to win. I think there'll be goals in this one, as there always are with Hull City games. I'm going to go for a 2-2, a Desmond, Ollie. What do you reckon?
You've got a Desmond. I'm going a little bit further. Wrexham 3, Hull 2. I believe that probably makes it every week we've done this show that I have predicted a defeat for Hull. But it's because I just can't trust a team that can't defend, and they cannot defend. What are they going to do against Kiefer Moore? How are they going to stop him from being able to be dominant, to create chances, to score goals? I don't see it. I don't know how or who they're going to put on him. You look at their most recent games, they conceded 4, obviously, against Middlesbrough. They conceded 2 at home to Ipswich, 3 away at QPR, 2 at home to Portsmouth. They even managed to concede 2 at home to Portsmouth. This is a team that can't defend, and you cannot get behind a team that can't defend. They have to do something to change that. But until we see any evidence that they're going to, I will keep getting against them. So yeah, a 3-2 away win for me. I want the bonus points because the bonus points always proc in Hull games, but it's going to be 3-2 to Wrexham.
The Hull hater is back in full force. And Gab, to round off, has gone for a 2-1 Wrexham win in that game. So it'll be very interesting to see. We will be back on Thursday or Friday to preview the weekend's fixtures on the Championship Prediction League. Ollie, thank you very much for your time once again. We'll have Gab back later in the week, and let's hope for a cracking midweek round of fixtures. And you need the points, don't you?
Oh, I do. I need to get back on form. I need to have a United level resurgence. I want to see myself flying, and all of a sudden I'll be chasing down the Coventry at the top of this division.
I'll be replacing you with Chris Wilder in a few weeks if results don't improve for you, just to try and turn the season around.
I back it all day long.
Please do like and subscribe. Get your score predictions in the comments down below for this midweek round of fixtures. But we'll see you later in the week. Thanks for watching.